friendship for me is everything. I don't come from like a big family or anything, so my friends are my family. Like that's why like if you're my friend, like you're my ride or die. Like I will do anything for you. And yeah, it just comes down to having those people and like connecting and getting deep. You know, you can't really further a relationship and deepen a relationship if you're not willing to be vulnerable with your friends and like talk about hard shit and like stuff like that. Like that's how my group has gotten so close, is because we're just so like honest and vulnerable with each other.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to or back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I have Natalia on the podcast today. Hey girl, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm
Absolutely.
so excited to be here.
So pumped that you can be here.
Yeah, and it's so good to finally meet you.
I know. I feel like I've followed you, or like that. That always sounds weird. Like I've followed you on Instagram.
No,
I
but
know,
that's
like,
just how it is.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like I almost know everything about you, but like, you know.
Let's normalize it. Like
Yeah.
It's fine. Like I know everything
true.
about you too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but
like,
here we are.
Do you ever like just like you find a cute boy on Instagram or something, or like, you know, you're about to go on a date and you're like listening to them talk, you're like, I do that.
You're like,
I also do that. And you gotta play it cool.
Once you go through the tagged photos, it's like game over. Like
Oh.
I know way too much.
Okay, I think you would really get along with my little sister because she is the queen of like the tagged photo section.
Oh yeah.
Well, you do. You know way too much. You know more than you ever wanted to know.
And that's why I don't allow myself to overstep anymore, because I'm like, sometimes it just ruins it for me. Like I get the
Yeah. No, but true. And also like it's fun to be surprised a little bit, you know, like kind of like let them introduce themselves.
Exactly.
So, have you ever found that people will meet you in real life and then I guess we're going to do this the entire podcast, but like have you ever like met someone and then they already have like these preconceived ideas about you because they followed you online?
100%. It's the weirdest thing.
It's so
bizarre. I'm like, do
bizarre.
you actually know me though?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
No, well, and I've connected with people, you know, like I moved to Annapolis probably about a year and a half ago. When I first moved there, I was really adamant about like making connections with people, just kind of like right off the bat, like whoever DM'd was like, hey, I live here, like welcome to the town, like if you want to grab coffee, meet up for something, I would say yes. But then they would always kind of have like this idea of like who they are. But I feel like if you're a creator, it's a little different because you kind of get the same, you know, does that like
exactly. It's like
understand?
we have the same, like not the same life obviously, but like go through some of the similar same
Yes.
situations and things work wise, and also just like being a content creator. I feel like, I don't know, it's like it's hard to describe.
It is so hard to describe.
Yeah.
Like just like if someone's like, what's a day in your life like, and you're like, I have
It's
no idea
different
what I'm
every
doing
day.
tomorrow.
Yeah. It's literally different every single day.
So different.
Yeah.
So you are a full-time content creator.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to building your platform, all that jazz? So deciding that you wanted to be a full-time content creator, all that.
Yeah. So I started posting content as a side hobby. Like in 2020, that's when I started my Instagram page, S9E3. And honestly, I only posted on there for like recipes, and it was just like a side thing because I was in college at the time, at community college, and most of my like close friends weren't living in the same city I was. They were like out of state for college or just out of the city. So I started becoming like obsessed with wellness and just like improving my life in all aspects, and I decided to share that and make an account, and I really did not think anything of it really. Like it was just a little passion project, side hobby, but then obviously the pandemic hit, and I really loved posting, and I was like, okay, I want to like continue doing this and put more of my time into this. And now that school like is from home, like I have way more time. So I made a TikTok, started posting more, gained more of a following. And because of like that following, it just made me realize like how passionate I am about not only, you know, wellness and all the things I share, but just like creating a community and just like receiving DMs from people being like, you helped me with this. And I don't know, it just made me feel like that was my current passion, and I decided to drop out of college, move to LA, do the whole thing.
I love it.
And it was honestly like the best decision I could have ever made. and I'm still doing it. Yeah.
So when you decided to leave school, because I also left school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I actually withdrew from all my classes without telling my mom and dad. I
Oh, that's bold.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so that's a full story for a different day. But
Yeah.
um I did the same thing. And my listeners, they've heard my story, whatever. But how was that process like for you, presenting an idea to your parents or to your friends even? Hey, I'm going to do something super out of the ordinary. What was that process like for you?
So I would say like talking to my parents was the most difficult part just because um, my mom has always been very strict on me school wise. And I was never a straight A student. Like, school is just not my jam. Like, it's very tough for me, tougher than most people. For whatever reason, school is just not my thing. And talking to my parents about it was a huge stressor, but like I knew that like this is what I wanted to do, and regardless if they were going to accept it or not, like I was still going to make it happen for myself. So going into the conversation, obviously I was like super nervous about it, but I just told them like, hey, this is where I feel like my heart is leading me to right now, and I want to, fully send this and move to LA. Like, I already have friends in the same industry, you can call it, that live there. So like I have community there. Like, it just makes sense for me right now. And I even like would read them some of the DMs like I was receiving just so they could
Oh, I love
understand.
that.
Cause I feel like my parents are older. Like, most parents don't fully understand social media.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't have a manager at the time. I didn't have much certainty, but I kept telling them like I'm gonna make this happen. Like, it's gonna work out. Like, even if it doesn't work out, let's say, I can go back to school. Like, school will always be there, but I want to like continue with this traction and like just go for it. And they ended up like understanding and supporting me. So, but it was definitely nerve wracking to tell
Oh, I
them.
would imagine it's like terrifying.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say a word when I did that.
Yeah. Were your
Yeah.
parents strict too, like with school and stuff, or?
They were, but they also kind of similar to your experience, like they kind of saw the impact
Yeah.
that I was making, and I think, from their point of view, they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a different time than, when they were growing up. It was kind of
Yeah.
like a very certain path that you had to follow, and I think now there's a lot more flexibility and it's being more widely accepted." Um, but yeah, when my sister told them, my dad came into my room and he was like, "Hey, so Lexi actually mentioned that you withdrew from your classes. Can we just talk about that?" I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh. Yeah.
"Yeah, we probably should." For me, I think it was just, kind of like you, I just felt called and I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, I feel like I have to do this. So when you moved to LA, what was that like for you? Had you lived in LA prior, or like, like before in your lifetime, or was this like a whole new, like, new city, new people, new home, everything?
So I never moved ever. I had lived in my childhood home from zero till I was 21. That's when I moved. So yeah, it was my first time in LA, first time with a roommate, new friends, new job, new everything. So it was a lot of newness that I had to become comfortable with, and just like creating a new routine. But it was like newness that I was so excited for because I was so ready to finally live on my own and just like be around more like-minded people,
Yeah.
because my closest friends weren't even really at home. So just having those like-minded people, because I met the girls that live in LA, I met them through Instagram before I moved. So that was just like kind of another thing that I was like, I already have friends there pretty much,
Yeah.
like I get to grow those relationships. Um, so I was super excited for like the whole new journey, but obviously scared as well because I didn't have certainty with the whole job. Like, I wasn't making too much money with social media yet. Um, but then I got a manager and everything just started aligning, and it like all started to make sense that like the decision of moving to LA, like it started all falling into place.
So when you moved here, what would you say was the biggest challenge that you faced as kind of just like embracing all this newness?
Yeah. I would say just like being on my own, like actually on my own. Um, I feel like I've always counted on my parents for so many different things. and I'm like the only child. I was definitely like very babied till I was 21. Still am because I moved back home, but we can get into that. But yeah, I would say just like fully depending on myself and relying on myself and just being a big girl, like putting my big girl boots on and like also proving to my parents and like my friends and everyone that like I'm going to make this work for myself. Having that pressure definitely made me feel like I had to just really prove myself, which was hard in some mental health aspects, but all in all, I'm so happy that I made the decision.
So I want to talk about, if you're open to it, a little bit of the mental health side of things because you're super, super transparent on social media, and I love that about you. You have a whole, I don't know if it's a highlight or maybe a pin post or something, but just like you're very, very dedicated to vulnerability and transparency, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
What would you say? Okay, first off, what's it like for you to literally lay it all out on the line online?
Yeah. It's definitely like not easy, but at the same time, the only reason why I practice so much like just being real and honest is because I feel like that's what social media needs, and like
Yeah.
that's what I needed to see when I was younger and going through stuff. Like I wish there was more people sharing the raw vulnerable moments. So like that is literally my only goal with my social media. I feel like at this point my social media has changed so much. I went from, talking about, past eating disorder and then talking about mental health things and healing and like just different things. I just want to be honest about it all. Um so that's just kind of where I'm at on my social media status. I would say is just like showing the real things I'm going through as a 23-year-old, from when I started 21 to 23. There's still so much learning to do, and that is what I'm here to share on my platform is like the things I'm learning, the things I'm unlearning. But it's not easy also when like there's particular people that are gonna see it. Like that's what keeps me holding back sometimes. I'm like, I know this person's gonna see it, and like I don't want them to know
Yeah.
that vulnerable side of me. But then I'm like, but think of like all the other thousands of people that could hear this and it could like change their day, change their life. Like that's what keeps me going.
It's such a weird balance, like a delicate dance between what you can share because it's like relatable to people versus like oversharing and like putting yourself into like a weird position. And
Mhm.
I always kind of err on the side of like share it all because that's what people like need and want to hear.
Of course.
And I found that people connect better when you share your true vulnerable self and your true vulnerable story. Um, and honestly, I would say when I started to talk about mental health, food in a different way, I saw people really kind of cling to that rather than like running away. Would you say that people like are almost like more attracted to you because you're more vulnerable?
100%. I feel like that's why I have a following is because
Yeah.
like I feel like without my vulnerability, like what's the point?
Yeah.
Like I'm not here to just post pictures and look cute. Like that's not why I'm an
Oh my gosh.
influencer.
When I when I see people and like you can probably think of like the names of people that I'm thinking, not like in our genre, I don't think, because I think our genre does a good job of, do you use that word like our genre of like social media?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I say. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the wellness, genre.
Community, for
Yeah,
sure.
community genre.
Yeah.
But I'm, people who have like been on YouTube for a while or people who just have built up followings just for like posting pretty pictures. Like, yeah, they're pretty pictures and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, you know, how I don't like why?
I
You
know. I
know?
know. I don't know how they still have jobs.
No,
Cuz I
literally.
feel like
Yeah.
social media is just changing so much where it's like if you're just posting a bikini photo and you're just like I don't know. I
People
just
want
don't get it
more.
anymore. Yeah.
They want more.
They want more.
Instagram and TikTok were like your main things, right?
Mhm.
And then you started a podcast. Okay,
Yes.
tell me a little bit about you in the podcast space.
I started I think exactly a year ago. I've always wanted to start a podcast ever since I got on social media. I just think I've learned so much through listening to podcasts. Like I think I've learned more through podcasts than I ever did in school. Like
No,
actually
literally.
as an
Yeah.
adult, like so much. So I knew that that was something I wanted to do eventually, and then finally Started it a year ago and it's been great. Yeah, I just share a little bit of everything, wellness things, mental health, like July favorites, wellness things, like just a little bit of everything. And I've just started having guests on too. So,
Okay, I also just kind of started having guests on like within the past like 6 months or so.
me too.
And it's kind of like it's just a different vibe. I
Yeah,
find that solo episodes are almost like journal entries
100%.
for me.
Yeah.
It's like here's my entire heart.
And you know what? It's hard for me I don't know about you, but like for me personally, it's hard to dig that deep like every single week. Like it takes a lot of mental energy
Okay, yeah.
to talk about the things that we talk about,
Yep.
and it can be draining sometimes. Like sometimes I just want to be like, I don't want to think about like what I've been through the past 21 years. Like I kind of just like like want to just not, like
Okay,
we shouldn't be doing that all the
all
time.
right, you just put to words like literally the feeling that I have sometimes when I know that I have to record something and I know that I'll sit around in the house all day long procrastinating and it's because I don't want to get deep with myself.
That is
Maybe
literally
am I
me.
am I avoiding myself? I don't know.
I think that we need breaks. Like I don't like
Yeah.
cuz I think that like the whole healing process and like self-improvement, like it's great. Like
Mhm.
obviously anyone who's investing in themselves, like 100%, that's amazing, but like we need breaks too to just
Yeah.
like sit and be and just exist and be horizontal and watch Love Island and just be a human and not like think about every trauma we've had and like
Literally.
all the experiences that led us to who we are now. Like that is important to share, but I think just like being honest with yourself when you need a break is what I've been doing, and that's why I've been having like guests on so I can like take a break
I
from
love
myself
that.
and like get to know someone else. Like it's
Yeah.
important for us.
I think so too. And I think too, like, you can't always be in like healing girl mode. Like, my whole summer season, this will be a fall episode, by the way.
Okay.
My whole summer season has been about healing girl summer.
Mm.
And it's been heavy. Like, it's good. It's been
Yeah.
helpful for the listeners. But I'm just like, dang, like, you know, like healing's good, but like too much healing. Like, is that a thing? I don't know.
Girl, me and you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about your healing journey then. Are you like in the process? Okay, we talked a little about like new beginnings. So I'm getting the sense that they're probably intertwined, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Although we just said that we don't want to get deep, but let's do it
know.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even really know where to start. I feel if I'm being completely honest and vulnerable right now, um I've had a week. It's been a very
Okay,
heavy week. August has not been treating me the best.
what's going on? Why?
Well, so I already told you this off of the podcast, but my car got broken into like a week ago. Lost my camera, lost my laptop,
Wait, okay, tell the
beats.
story a little bit more because I feel like the listeners will probably want to. They'll be like, "Wait, her car got broken into?" Like, let's hear the story.
Yeah, if you follow me, you know. But basically, I was at dinner with my friend Lindsay last week, and in the arts district, we were in the arts district, and I left my so I live in Orange County, and whenever I come up to LA, I bring all my stuff with me because it's like I'm a content creator, so I
Yeah.
got my camera, I got my laptop, like I have things I'm doing while I'm in LA. So I bring all those valuables with me. Otherwise, why else would I bring those things, you know? But stupid silly little me left her laptop, camera, beats, makeup all in one bag in my front seat, and I like covered the bag, but if someone wants something, they're gonna break in and they're just gonna find whatever's there. So yeah, my car got broken into, which was not the best. Still processing the fact that they have
Yeah,
my like
that's like
laptop with all my things and
everything.
yeah,
As a creator, or honestly, just as a human,
it's like my work.
yeah, that's your work.
Yeah.
That's your life. My heart breaks. The fact that you lost your vlog camera too, like all the footage, the stuff on. Sorry, I don't want to like. I don't want to like, keep jabbing the knife, but like.
No, it's fine. Honestly, like I have peace with it. Like it's happened, it's over with. I'm glad I'm safe. You know, if I would
Yeah.
have gone back to my car while they were doing that, who knows what could have happened.
Right.
So I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm safe. Everything is material. I can get new things. Like it's fine. But regardless of that, like I'm just not having a very peaceful environment
Mm.
at home, which is hard and is something I'm currently trying to get out of. Um, so I'm moving. This is I haven't even said this to anyone yet on my socials or
Big
anything, but
announcement.
I'm moving very very soon, as soon as possible. That's the next goal. So new
Do
beginnings
you
are
know
very
where,
needed.
like, where you're gonna head to? Like, are you gonna come back to LA or stay in Orange County?
I think I'm gonna stay in Orange County. Did the whole LA thing, but LA is just not for me, like long
Okay.
term. Like I did it, but I prefer just a more like peaceful environment.
Totally
And
understandable. Yeah.
like cities, like obviously LA, you got the beach and you got the city, but just moving back home to Orange County, like just that area, I just feel more myself there.
You probably feel like more at home too,
I do in a way,
Like if you
yeah.
know like the roads and the restaurants and the people, like, just probably like feels good.
It does. It does. Yeah, I have my spots I go to. All my friends from college move back home too.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then when I want to visit my LA friends, it's like an hour drive, but they're worth to come up for.
Mhm.
So I see them like once a week. It just makes sense to live in Orange County, but just very excited
I'm
to have
excited
my own
for
space.
you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna live alone?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm
I'm so
so
excited
excited.
for you.
Like literally since I was like 12 years old, like I've dreamt of just having my own place, like my own space.
You can decorate everything the way you
I
want
know. I'm
to.
so
Oh, I'm so
excited.
pumped for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So,
That's
new
awesome.
beginnings happening
So
soon.
excited.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in like the new beginning realm that you're kind of feeling? Do you feel like stuff's like brewing to some degree?
Um okay. I would say like this next phase of my life, this next chapter is just going to be a lot of like uncomfortable healing work, a lot
Okay.
of unlearning. Um because I will be in my own space and my own environment, so like anything else like is just going to be in a way like cut off because I'll just be with myself and I'm going to have like uncomfortable things come through. I feel like with healing, like I feel like I've been running away from some of my problems and
Mm.
like deep rooted issues just to quote unquote survive. So, and I know that sounds so
No,
like
but
I don't
okay,
even know how to. It's hard for me to even talk about
it's
this because I
valid.
haven't even like. That's why for me, I don't like to talk about things until I've fully gone through it.
Yeah,
Just because it's like it's because I'm like in the thick of it right now. So
right.
it's like, how do I even talk about it? But like I said, next phase is just unlearning and just being and sitting with myself and sitting with those emotions that I've been running away from for so long and like actually like intentionally sitting with them because I feel like the only way you have to heal the things that you're running away from is by really just going through
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
diving head first. Absolutely.
And I don't want to, but I have to.
No, it's terrifying.
I have to.
But the fact that you recognize that you have to, you're probably like light years ahead of where you think you are, to be honest. Because if you really weren't where you think you are, okay, I feel like if you recognize it, you're almost there,
I
you
like
know?
that. Yes.
Because if
Yeah.
you're not,
Being aware of it. Yeah.
yeah,
And I feel like I've always been aware of the things that I'm trying to heal from, but I didn't want to put in the work to heal it because I'm like,
mm,
it's not a good time yet, or I'm not ready enough yet. Um, but then those feelings and those like things that you're running away from are just gonna keep prolonging.
yeah,
And it's like, I'm trying to end the cycle now. Like, I'm trying
mm,
to start becoming the person that I want to be now. Like, I can't keep letting, you know, excuses holding me back from that version I'm
love
trying to
that.
create.
So, what's the ideal version of you that you're trying to step into in this new beginning?
Whew. Definitely someone who, like, I like to say I'm already authentic because I try to, that's like the most that's that's the most important thing to me is to be authentic, but I just feel like I've been really like holding back my power and my full potential, which is just someone who I feel like I have a hard time like expressing my emotions, and like just like even like podcasts like this, like it's hard for me to like really talk about how I feel genuinely. And I feel like because my throat chakra is like blocked for whatever reason, whatever happened to me as a child, my throat chakra has been blocked. So I feel like by fully stepping into my power and just allowing myself to be honest and vulnerable with people I love, that will help me be the person I'm trying to become, which is just like,
Ooh.
you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't know
Okay.
if that made
So
sense.
okay. So I have something for you. So a little backstory. So I, um, am writing a chapter in a book, and the book's all about healing,
Oh my God.
and I'm
Love.
super pumped about it.
That's
But
awesome.
I really struggled with food back in like the wintertime, like the fall and winter time, like just kind of a shit show. If you know, without getting into the dirty details,
Oh, I know.
pretty much shit show. I'm
If you
sure
know,
you're
you know.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
by the way.
thank
You
you.
went through that.
Thank you.
It's not fun.
Not at all.
No.
No. No. But I'm sure we can chat about it. Maybe off the mic. I don't know if I'm ready to like fully get into it, but
Yeah.
this chapter in this book, this was the first time that I really opened up about some of the stuff that I was going through, and it wasn't until I had my sister read it first, and then one of my best friends in the entire world read it second. And then I slowly just had like more and more people reading it, and it's like this deep, vulnerable, like almost like, here guys, read my diary.
Yeah.
Um but I finally felt understood, and I finally felt heard. And by kind of giving them, and writing was a cool tool too, because I didn't have to say it.
Mm.
I could just be like, okay, here, you read this, you process this kind of like for me in a way, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can come back to me and be like, oh my gosh, I never knew that you went through that. This is what I think. Like, let me give you a hug,
Yeah.
whatever. And because like I could be open and honest with them, it helped me then heal in turn, if that kind of makes sense
Yeah.
too. So it's like I felt heard and seen by them, so then they, I don't know, like it was so much easier to like get through.
Wow. Okay. I love that so much, and I completely relate to that. That's actually, it's weird because I went through the same exact thing this past weekend with a few of my friends I saw in LA. I told them about a recent situation that I had been going through, and just hearing them validate
Yeah.
the things I've been going through, and like hearing them give me support and love, and just like again the validation of like how you're feeling is okay, like just having that support like you had from your sisters probably meant so much, and just helped you, yeah, heal through it. Like again, that's what I'm going through right now. It's like healing those things that are harder to talk about.
Yeah. And I think if you're just kind of like dealing with it alone, it's just going to be so much harder, because you like can't let anyone into your space, and then you're just like spiraling in your head.
1000%.
And then the minute that you get that validation, you're like, oh wait, I'm not crazy.
Dude, it's so weird. This is exactly like how I've been feeling.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like yeah.
Do you think that when you moved here, okay, so you said that you moved here and you kind of had like friends already. And then what was it like just creating a community in a new city, and then kind of like deepening those relationships to then get to this point where you can be like super vulnerable with them?
During the pandemic, the girls I was talking to online that I had never met before, but they all knew of each other because they all lived in LA. They would like hold these picnics. So I would drive up from Orange County like every weekend, and that's how like I started becoming friends with them. Obviously, we weren't deep or anything, but I all I knew was that I loved being around them. They seemed very genuine, and it's not hard. It's not easy for me to just open up to obviously just anyone, especially in your 20s. Like it's so hard to find actual good
So freaking
friends.
hard. Yeah.
So
So
hard.
hard.
And yeah, I was very skeptical because LA also has the
Mm.
worst rep. Like everyone here is fake, right? Like that is just what LA you hear. So I was skeptical, but because like we're all in the wellness community, I was hoping that, it wasn't going to be like that. And of course, I've had some friendships while living in LA that ended up being very superficial, transactional. Um, but it's like I kind of already knew that, like
Yeah.
within, like I read people's energy very quickly. Like I know if we're going to vibe or not. So those people I would just like keep a close distance from. But the girls that I'm still friends with to this day, like, I just knew that, like, we were gonna
Aw.
get along, and yeah, I'm very fortunate to have met them in the time I did, how it all happened. Like, I still look back and I'm like, how did I meet such amazing people? Like, I don't know if it was just because of the pandemic, like, everyone just felt more connected
Yeah.
online. Like, I have no idea, but I'm so damn grateful.
I think when you find a core group in your 20s that you can really kind of like cling to in a sense, and I don't know, like it's all just like this weird like in between like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And when you can find a core group that you can relate to, that you can vent to, kind of like remove yourself from like I don't know, cuz for me growing up it was always like I talked to my family. But you know, kind of outside of our like little family unit, it's so important to have those voices of, you know, maybe they've had a different path in life, or, you know, they just kind of like come from somewhere else and they can bring different perspectives. And
Mhm.
I think for me, like once I found a little bit of a core group, my just happiness level increased, my mental health got better. I don't know what it was like for you, but just like kind of having people.
1000%. I think that connection is like, for me, like, top five mental health things. Like,
Yeah.
connection is like number one. Like, having people you can talk to that you can actually trust. Um, and like, friendship for me is everything. I don't come from like a big family or anything. Um, so my friends are my family. Like, that's why, like, if you're my friend, like, you're my ride or die. Like, I will do anything for you. Um, and yeah, it just comes down to having those people and like connecting and getting deep. I feel like I can't really, you can't really further a relationship and deepen a relationship if you're not willing to be vulnerable with your friends and like talk about hard shit and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, that's how my group has gotten so close, is because we're just so like honest and vulnerable with each other. And that's something I definitely did not have in high school. So I think that they've really healed a lot of like the past hectic girl friendships that I had, you
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah. I mean, in high school, I think a lot of people are just afraid
Mhm.
because you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about my problems. I don't want to talk about, yeah, high school's so hard and you're just like, everyone's trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, once you meet people, I guess we'll say like in real life, you
Yeah.
know, like once you get out of like your high school level,
Yeah.
it's so different. I think if you can get vulnerable, sometimes my friends get mad at me because I'm like, okay, let's go deep. Like, let's, you know, like, let's get this conversation past the surface. Like, let's just, you know, roll into like, how are you feeling today? How are you doing? Should I be concerned? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um, and I think that is how you really just get to know people and create a true connection for sure. I want to talk a little bit about your wellness routines. So you post so much cool wellness content. Your workouts are fun. You do like literally the cutest little dances. Like you do. I watch your TikToks. I'm like, oh my god, she's so cute.
Oh my god.
Um,
Thank
so
you.
no problem. You're welcome.
I never know what I'm doing, by the way. Like, just so everyone knows, I know I'm not a dancer,
Okay, but
okay?
you can
I'm just
groove.
moving my body in silly ways.
But
Like,
you look like you know what you're doing.
well, thank you.
I was gonna ask, were you a dancer?
No.
No.
I always wanted to be.
Did you do like any sports or anything growing up?
Yeah. I did a lot of sports. But in high school I did track and cross country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you run,
I do run.
right?
Yes.
How's that going?
So I was actually supposed to do a half marathon this weekend, but unfortunately, girl was not stretching properly, so I like ruined my knee
Ooh.
like a month ago. Like, yeah, I had to stop running for like 2 weeks, and then I've just started like getting back to running. I was like, okay, the marathon is literally this weekend. Like,
Oh
it's
shoot.
just I want to do it, but at the same time, it's just not gonna happen
Yeah.
this weekend.
Well, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
It'll
Which
happen
is
when
so
it's supposed to
cliche and
happen.
like toxically positive.
No,
But
literally.
like,
I'm
yeah.
like, rejection is redirection.
Yes. There you go.
Wasn't supposed to happen this weekend, you know?
There you
It's
go.
fine.
Yeah, and then you're gonna run a different one, and it's gonna be the
Exactly.
best one ever. You're gonna like meet someone cool, or like something like,
Exactly.
or
I'm
you're
gonna meet
gonna
my husband on the run. Like, it just wasn't meant to be this weekend, and
because you're
that's
supposed
fine.
to meet your husband whenever you run the next one
That is just how it goes.
with a healthy knee.
Thank you.
There you go.
You get it.
Yeah,
Like, thank you for
absolutely.
understanding.
No problem.
I feel
Yeah.
so validated right now.
There we go. Okay. So talk me through a little bit of kind of like your day-to-day wellness routine. Maybe we start in the morning. What
Okay.
is just kind of like walk us through your morning routine if you have one.
Yeah. So it definitely changes, but I'll tell you mine right now.
Okay.
Okay. So I wake up. Lately, I've been waking up around 6. That's just when my body wakes me up. Sometimes I'll wake up at 8 if I need that extra rest because I think sleep is number one. I need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or else you don't want to be around me. That's just how it works. But yeah, lately, 6 a.m. wake up. And because I'm going through this little funk in my life right now, transition, um, journaling is like what's keeping me afloat right now and just getting out everything I'm going through. So I have been journaling for at least like 5 minutes in the morning, just like a mind dump, because I love journaling for the fact that I can look back at the periods of my life
Mm.
where I was going through it and I can look back and see everything I was feeling and know how I grew from that. And so that's why I'm so adamant right now, especially. Like, I'm writing out everything because I know I'm going to grow from this. And it's just like a little moment I can like be proud of myself,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
So I've been journaling a lot this week. And then I'll have my little coffee. I always drink water before coffee though. Um, and then I'll have like a banana with peanut butter just to get something in my stomach. I don't wake up super hungry at 6 a.m., but I do like to have something before coffee. So have my banana, peanut butter, pink salt, and then
Love it.
I'll make my coffee. And then I'll just go for a walk outside, little neighborhood walk, like 20 minutes. I'll listen to a podcast, listen to healing frequencies, listen to music, whatever I'm feeling. Again, every day is different for me work wise. So if I have a brand deal I have to get done, or if I have more time in the morning, I'll go to the gym. But movement, sunlight, journaling, caffeine,
All the good things.
those are the important things.
All the important things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have specific like journaling prompts that you use or do you just kind of brain dump?
It really depends what life season I'm in and what I'm feeling. But as of lately, like I said, just like mind dumping has just been good for me. But also, I've been using these like manifestation scripting types of things because I'm moving to a new space. So I like to envision what my life is going to feel like in this next chapter of my
Love
life,
it.
what it's going to look like, who's going to be there, so a lot of manifestation as well.
It's wild if you write stuff down and then you go back and look at it like and it's almost like to a T.
It's crazy. When I was about to move to LA and I didn't have like a management team, didn't have like constant income, like that was one of my biggest worries. Was like, how am I gonna actually financially support myself? Um, I was manifesting like a management team and income, that was more constant. And I ended up finding a management team 3 months of living in LA.
Wow.
And they're like a trusted team, because it's also hard to like find
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I've been with them ever since. So that was also just
That's
like a cool little
incredible.
thank you. Yeah.
Even if it's just like I don't know, just like a little bit of like a wish list,
Mhm.
just like okay, like this is what I want.
The intention setting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
getting it out there, putting it on paper, saying it out loud. Voice
Mhm.
memos. I don't know if you do voice memos.
Love voice memos.
Voice memos are so like therapeutic.
They are. When I was like really going through it with my job, I took a video. Actually, I deleted it on the plane right over here because I was like, I don't need this anymore. And I might want it again someday. But it was a video of me literally crying in my car saying like it was from February and I was like, okay, by April, I'm gonna be able to support myself outside of my job, my like 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
The podcast is gonna be doing well and I'm gonna be happier. And then sure enough, like a month later I ended up quitting my job. I was like, I gotta get out of my
Wow.
cubicle. Like
Good
yeah,
for
and
you.
then just yeah, but it's crazy, like if you just it's so cliche, but if you want it, you can go for it. You can always get it.
And you have to make it happen too. Like
Yeah.
I think there's a fine line with like the whole manifestation thing where it's like send it out and it'll happen. Like no, you also have to put in the work to make it
Absolutely.
happen. Like you intention set and then you do the little steps to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then it'll happen, because it's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, the intention's out there, and you're actually working to make it happen as well.
Yeah.
There's something about it too where it's like, I like to know that like I have what I have, and I've achieved what I've achieved because I've put in hard work.
Yeah.
Aside from like the intention setting,
Yeah. And it's good to feel, I feel like everyone wants to like slap your back and like shake your hand when you're like, on top and like in the success, but it's fun to like look back at like, you go back through your journal and be like, okay, well, this is when I was really going through the thick of it. But at the same time, I was still pumping out a podcast episode. I was still grinding on my job, even though I was like emotionally going through it.
Yeah.
And I think those are the most powerful moments where you're like, okay, well, if I could do it, if the version of me from 6 months ago could do it, I can definitely do it now when I'm like feeling good,
100%. Yeah. It's all about having that reflection and like reading those old journal entries. Like I've done that so much, especially when I'm going through a hard time, because it's like, okay, if I got out of that hard time, I can get through this hard time.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
reflecting.
Let's talk about micro habits.
Okay.
Have you found any little teeny tiny habits that you use in your daily life that make your life easier or better or healthier or just make you happier?
Micro habits. Let me think about this for a sec.
Like, for example, something for me is tongue scraping. Like,
Okay.
love tongues. Just like something like
I
little
feel
and micro.
that. Yeah.
Like that was the first thing in my suitcase when I packed.
Yeah.
Like it's gotta come with me.
It's a game changer.
It
If
is.
you're not tongue scraping, you gotta get on this.
It's the least sexy name you could ever imagine.
I know.
But like
and it's not sexy while you're doing it, but
no.
like
Close the door to the bathroom.
Yeah. Like when I have a boyfriend someday, he's not gonna.
You will not catch me tongue.
That's the one vulnerable thing I will not show. Is the tongue scraping.
No, literally.
Sorry.
Like, I'll shut
happening.
the door, go in private. Like,
literally. You can watch me poop. You can watch me do
yeah,
anything
I will do
else.
anything. I'll do anything else in front of you. Tongue scraping is not one of those things.
That is a boundary I will not cross.
Hard line in the sand there.
Period. No, that's so funny. Okay, let me think. In the morning, I try to really habit stack.
That's so good.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I feel like in the mornings, I'm just the most energized, productive. And I feel like if I get all the things I want to get done, it's going to happen in the morning. Because I get a
100%.
midday slump, and then it's like, you're done. Like
It's if it happens after like, like 1 to like the 3, which is weird because we're recording them 1 to 3 and I'm feeling great. But like, but yeah, it's the afternoons. The afternoons hard.
Yeah. But I would say the micro habits are honestly just morning sunlight. Like, not only do I sleep better, it's this whole, I don't know if you listen to like Andrew Huberman.
Love him.
Huberman, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's big on like morning sunlight,
Yeah.
so that's been a priority for me. My sleep has been better. I've been really struggling with sleep. So morning sunlight, also magnesium at night. I don't know if you take magnesium.
I don't, but I've heard about it. I feel
Yeah,
like I need to do it. I need to do it.
Everyone says magnesium for years. I was like, okay, I'll get on it eventually. No, you got to get on it. Like,
Okay.
I have this little I take this pouch from Moon. Oh my god, I'm blanking.
I feel like I can picture.
I literally
like,
posted
the
it last
name.
night. I
feel like
posted it last
picture,
night.
or like the logo.
Shoot, I can't remember the brand. It's called Moon something, but it's this magnesium powder. It's like a nighttime mocktail.
Okay.
I'll have the powder with water before bed. It tastes good. And it just helps me like calm down, wind down. So that's been helping with my sleep. Another micro habit I've been loving is the diffuser.
Oh, essential oils.
Essential oil diffuser.
Do you have a specific oil that you like?
Peppermint. I love peppermint. It just helps me wind down. But also, do you know the brand Sage? Saje?
Saje. I don't.
It's like a wellness brand. They have like diffusers, essential oils.
Okay.
And I've been using all of their essential oils. So they have like different ones. So if you need energy, they have like these energy drops.
Okay.
If you need something to wind down drops. And I'll just have that going. Like whether I'm in my room, on my laptop, I just need like just essential oils make me feel some type of way.
I love them.
Yeah.
So I have this is a little woo woo. Are you kind of woo woo?
I'm pretty woo.
Okay, I'm not like
I can get there.
Okay, I'm not like
I'm open.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I had this. I went to go see this energy healer one time, and she gave me some essential oils, and it was like It was like lemon and something else, maybe
Mm.
vanilla,
Mm.
but she like charged them energetically with like positive affirmations. And so and she put it in a
Mm.
roller ball like perfume. So if I'm
Whoa.
feeling sad about myself or my body or whatever, I literally just roll some on my wrist and like a little on my neck, and I just feel better. It's probably a little bit of the
Wow.
placebo effect, but
Yeah.
also like good vibes are in there, I'm sure. You
A
know?
little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like that's
But
fine.
essential oils are, they have like some of those like healing properties too.
100%.
So I think like the one that
100%.
like the little cocktail of essential oils that she gave me was for like self-love. I was
Ah.
like, love it.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah.
Affirmations, that is one
Huge.
thing I strongly believe in. Affirmations. Affirmations have changed my life.
Do you sit in front of the mirror and say them? I do sticky notes on the mirror and I read them
Love
like while
that.
I brush my teeth.
I love that. I have not done that yet. I know a lot of, I feel like affirmations, like there's so many different ways
So
you can
many, yeah.
affirm yourself. I haven't done the sticky note one yet. But ever since I started my wellness journey, I would just write like 3 affirmations in my journal in the morning. I'm a big journal girly, if you
I
can't
love
tell.
it. I love it.
But yeah, no, I would write them down in my journal, and then sometimes I'll say them out loud. But for me, I just like writing things.
Mhm.
So writing it down first thing in the morning to fill my head with like positive energy about my day, about myself. Such a game changer, honestly.
So what is one piece of content that has changed your life? Kind of in like the wellness realm, so whether it's like a podcast or a book or a quote, or is there anything that has really been like a staple in your life so far?
Mm. Podcasts, like listening to podcasts, has been the thing that has gotten me the most into wellness and like just self improvement overall. Um, the Skinny Confidential was like one of the first podcasts I started like religiously listening to, and just like hearing all the different guests that they would have. And I don't know, I feel like I've learned so much through that podcast, even though I feel like it's not necessarily like a wellness centered
But they do
podcast.
like so much like wellnessy stuff though. You know,
True,
like they've got a
true.
lot of like wellness guests. Yeah.
Yeah, true. So it's a podcast. Also, Ed Milet, love
He's
him.
good. Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. And also Jay Shetty, the Jay Shetty
Okay, yeah.
podcast. Um, yeah, I'm definitely like an audio learner. Um, so just putting on a podcast while going on a walk, like literally during the pandemic, that's all I did was like just listen to so many podcasts, and I feel like that's what kickstarted this whole journey for me, was just like really like having that time to really invest in myself and who I was trying to become, and sharing my lessons and sharing everything on social media, and then gaining that following and just wanting to keep improving and sharing it.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick little hot seat rapid fire Q&A
Okay.
to just kind of round out this episode.
Good thing I'm an overthinker. So
Okay, less than like 5 seconds.
okay, here
Let's
we
see.
go.
Unless you like are really like, "Ugh, like I have to think of it."
Okay, that's gonna be every question, but it's fine.
Okay, that's there are no rules here. It's fine. Okay, so what is your go-to party trick?
Party trick. Ooh, neck farting.
Impressive. Okay, how
You don't want to see that.
We'll save that for the party. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
No.
No?
Immediate no.
No?
Nope.
Okay, interesting. What is one song that's on repeat right now?
In my head.
Yeah. Or like the first song that you hit like when you get in the car, like the song that like you're just like playing over and over
Ooh,
again.
like what genre?
Whichever one you
Because
want.
I love all music besides country. Sorry. Okay, I would say I'm really in a big posty
Okay.
mood.
New stuff or old stuff?
New stuff.
New stuff. Okay.
His song "Blame on Me." I don't know if you've heard it.
Maybe.
Wait, I'm like, that's my posty, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
that's
Yeah.
I've been playing that a
Okay.
lot. Yeah.
Okay. One morning routine non-negotiable. I feel like I already know the answer. Journaling.
As of lately, journaling.
Okay.
It always changes, but journaling, yeah.
What's one wellness trend that you just cannot get behind?
Mm.
This one might be hard though because I feel like they always change.
I know. I'm trying to think of the ones that are like trending right now.
Like currently, ice baths, huge.
Love ice baths.
I love an ice
I really
bath.
do.
What's another good one?
I'm trying to think. because I'm always open to trying new things, and
I'll try everything once.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's ever been anything besides like fad diets and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, like fruit first in the morning,
Yeah.
no
Oh,
protein.
we could go into that for days.
Like the dieting ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I will not participate any longer.
Good for you. Yeah.
But
do you think have you ever done a salt float?
no. What is that?
Okay, maybe it's more of an East Coast thing. I don't know.
Okay, I've never heard of
But
that.
so it's basically this like we'll pause the rapid fire. It's basically like this big like tub, and it's filled with I don't know how many pounds of Epsom salt, but it's so salty that you float. And
It's like the Dead Sea.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so it's like kind of therapeutic in the sense where like you just kind of like lay there and float for like a half an hour.
Wow.
And I did it for the first time probably like 2 years ago when I was super stressed out. And then I did like a series of them. So I did them like probably did like 4 or 6 or something. And I swear my sleep improved, my mood improved.
Wow.
And maybe it was partly because I was like, having this like dedicated meditation time like once a week, but also just like, think about like how you go to the beach and you're like, oh, like, my beach skin, like it takes 2 days and then my skin's clear, or, just you feel better. It was the same vibe. I did it in the winter too.
Oh, wow.
And like an East Coast winter, like it was brutal. But yeah, salt float.
Okay.
I'll have to like find a place and like send it to you around
Please,
here.
I would.
Because it's super, super cool.
I'm trying to lower these stress levels right now.
You would love a salt float.
I need a salt float.
And it's
in my
helpful
life.
too because like you can't have your phone because you're like literally in
Oh,
water.
amazing.
So it's like, just chill.
It's a whole
It's good.
meditation.
I think you would really,
Okay,
really like it.
I'm gonna start looking at places now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would like it. What's another fun wellness trend?
I know, I'm trying to think.
I feel like saunas are making a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I'm in a big heavy sauna phase.
I love saunas.
I go to Perspire. I don't know if you guys have those in Maryland, but they're these sauna studios. You just get your own like little room. You rent it for 45 minutes.
Oh.
It's like LED lighting. I put on the red light.
Nice.
It's like a little oasis.
Do you do red light therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I don't really do like red light therapy, but I put my red light on at night every night before I go
only
to
do
bed.
it at the sauna.
Okay.
I don't have
like
red
you don't
light.
have like your own, like DIY.
Eventually, I want to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. I see people doing that all the time.
I know. I'm not that bougie yet.
No.
Eventually.
Well, and then I feel like too, like I'll buy something and then I'll do it for a short period of time. And I'm like, okay, I kind of forget about like move on to the next.
I feel that.
Okay. Now we'll do my final question. So the average age of my listener is like 22 to like 24, 25. If you had to go back and tell your 22-year-old self one thing, one piece of advice, what would it be?
My 22-year-old self. So me a year ago, what would I say to her? So much, because I feel we're constantly changing and growing. Like so much can change in a year. I think I would tell her to just trust the process and continue surrendering, because it's all happening for her and not to her.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah.
So where can the listeners find you online?
They can find me on Instagram, TikTok. My Instagram is S9E3. A little bit of a tongue twister.
I love that name though. It's so cute.
S9E3. And then my YouTube and TikTok are Natalia Seliger. And my podcast is My Monday Mood.
And I will link all of those in the show notes for you guys too, so you can just click easy access.
You're the best.
Yeah, no problem.
You.
Thank you, Natalia, for coming on the show. So good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, anytime.
Love this convo. I'm like, can you just move here so we can?
It's tempting. It's so tempting. We had a really good lunch, and I'm like, wait a second.
You should.
I could stay.
You should.
I don't know if I would do well in like the hustle and bustle of LA, but
come to
maybe
OC.
like
come to OC.
It's tempting. I have a lot
or
of
San Diego.
So I have a lot of friends that just moved to San Diego.
Ooh.
And a lot of them were joking like, "Oh, like you won't
you won't move.
You won't."
Yeah.
I'm like, double dog dare me, see what I do. Could be tempting.
You should. We're young.
Might as well.
Do it.
Might as well.
Do it for the plot.
If you double dog dare me right now on the podcast, I'll probably like find it.
You guys, if she isn't live from San Diego or Orange County, I'll be surprised.
Here we go, guys. Lily takes California. Thank
you.
you, Natalia, so much for coming on the show. So good to have you. You are welcome back anytime. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a rate and a review. That just helps more people find and listen to the show. I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Cool. And that's a wrap.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, girl.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me. Oh my
absolutely.
god.
I think we could have